What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. So, like many of my other videos, this is going to be opinion-based. And if you've been a fan of my channel for long enough, you may remember when I posted Unpopular Opinions videos a lot. And to say the least, I want to go back to that. Let's make another one. I have not made one this entire year yet, so to say the least, I am extremely excited to make this next one. This next one involves newer roller coasters that I've gotten to ride in the past few months, mixed in with past opinions I have been saving up for future videos. This is my 10th installment, and to say the least, there's going to be a lot more to come. Now, something that's important before I start the actual video, these are all my personal opinions. These are not fact-based, and I'm really not saying that I'm right. These are roller coasters, and you're allowed to have whatever opinion you want. So let's get right into some unpopular opinions. This is Cedar Flags, and today we are going to get into some more of my unpopular roller coaster opinions. The first ride we are going to be looking at is Pegasus at Mount Olympus in Wisconsin Dells. Now, when people look at the ride collection at this amusement park, many people will say that Pegasus is definitely the least out of the four. And while I do agree on that, I definitely don't agree that it is a bad ride. I definitely found it a lot less irritating, painful, or uncomfortable than what many people report. Now, the big complaint about this ride are the painful laterals. And while I was riding, I really didn't experience too much of that pain that other people were describing. Which is weird because I find pain in the weirdest places. For example, Thunderbolt at Luna Park, in my opinion, is painful. So why is a ride like this not painful? Before we move on, I definitely want to talk about that one moment on the ride that everyone loves to record. I found this element to bring barely any pain whatsoever. I definitely had a little bit of a jerk, but nowhere near as bad as some of the other moments, even in the park. For example, Hades 360 during its helix after its second tunnel has a very nasty pothole. So if you come to Mount Olympus, put on a new set of eyes and check out Pegasus if you are a fan of laterals. For the next spot on the list, we are going to be looking at Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis. Very similar to Pegasus, this is a ride that a lot of people really don't like. And though I could see how some people would not like a ride like this, I for one am a big fan of Ninja. If you don't know, this ride opened up at Expo 86. Long story short, during the construction of the ride, Arrow went bankrupt and Vekoma took over and basically finished it. The result? A Frankenstein-style roller coaster. This ride was eventually relocated to Six Flags St. Louis where it currently stands today. And getting to ride this a few times, I actually really enjoyed it. Going down the first drop and into the vertical loop, I was embracing for the worst. But I actually got something pretty smooth, pretty fun, and pretty forceful. There was not an element on the ride that really shook me around too much, at least no more than average Arrow loopers. And to be completely honest, I would say that Ninja is just as smooth as a ride like Tennessee Tornado. Maybe I got good rides on Ninja, maybe I got bad rides on Tennessee Tornado. Maybe I got both. Let me know what you think. For the next unpopular opinion, we are going to go down to Georgia to talk about the Riddler Mindbender at Six Flags Over Georgia. So, for a little bit of context, and something that is very important, I got to ride this only after its remodeling process. Unfortunately, I did not get to ride this with its original trains and its original theme, but fortunately, I still got to ride this as it is. Now, some of the reviews I've gotten have not been the most positive. A lot of people say that this absolutely ruined the ride and the ride is not good anymore, due to the trains, the trims, and many other factors. But when I got to ride it, it actually became my favorite Schwarzkopf. Even though my Schwarzkopf catalog is not as big as others, I've gotten to ride some pretty good ones like Tigger Coaster, Whizzer, Super Duper Looper, and Scorpion at Busch Gardens Tampa. And Riddler Mindbender was better than all of those. And even though that people say that Riddler Mindbender is now the worst Schwarzkopf by a long shot, I would have to disagree by miles. And even though I definitely would agree it was probably better before it got remodeled, I still got pops of ejector airtime, some crazy lateral and positive forces, and, most importantly, a great fun time. Now we go to Pennsylvania to talk about Dorney Park. In my opinion, this is one of the most underappreciated parks in the Cedar Fair chain. It combines modern roller coasters and rides, including a new ride next year, Iron Menace, with some of the old-fashioned counterparts of the 20th century. and one of those is Demon Drop. Originally opening at Cedar Point, this ride was an icon to the skyline. But as the years went on and Cedar Point built taller attractions, the ride became more irrelevant and eventually closed down, finding itself a home at Dorney Park. And as someone who's grown up near Cedar Point and has had family ride the Demon Drop at Cedar Point, I've been wanting to ride this all my life. So finally getting to ride it last year was truly something great. But something I didn't expect walking off the ride is the fact that I ended up liking it more than some other rides at the park. In fact, it is my favorite ride at Dorney Park, period. It's better than every single roller coaster there that I got to go on, and I got to go on every single major one, of course barring Iron Menace, which isn't open. And to be completely honest, as good as Iron Menace looks, I still think that Demon Drop is going to have that spot over everything else. The reason? The uniqueness, the airtime, and the unique positive Gs after the drop. This ride is extremely fun, and marathoning this is one of the most fun experiences I have ever had at a park. Finally, let's go back to the Midwest to talk about Worlds of Fun. Worlds of Fun is a very popular park located in Kansas City, and why do I say very popular? Well, they are getting some new investments in recent years, including a brand new roller coaster. This was Zambezi Zinger, and to say the least, this ride got a lot of hype. This is the third of the 3 wooden coasters located at this park: Timberwolf, Prowler, and Zambezi Zinger, and all 3 of these coasters are definitely different from each other. But something that I found to be very surprising is my disappointment in Zambezi Zinger and my big surprise for Timberwolf. Getting off of both of those rides were complete opposites, as I was expecting Zambezi to be a pretty good ride and Timberwolf to be a-okay. I remember getting off of Timberwolf for the first time and thinking to myself, wow, that was way better than I thought. The laterals on that ride, the duration, and most importantly, the very underrated airtime on this ride. This ride has multiple incredible airtime moments, including a very strong ejector moment that was actually the inspiration for one of my recent videos. But I remember getting off of that and then riding Zambezi Zinger. I remember getting off of Zambezi Zinger thinking, yeah, that was nothing compared to Timberwolf and obviously Prowler. The reason that Zambezi Zinger was a very big disappointment for me is because of 1, its trains, which honestly pressed down on me a lot during the ride, 2, its surprising roughness for being a new coaster, and 3, really didn't provide as much as I thought it would. Now, it's okay to have a ride that doesn't have as many forces, but when you have a ride that isn't as enjoyable or comfortable as some other rides, including much older rides, you have a bit of a problem. And while all 3 of the wooden coasters at Worlds of Fun have their own special place in the park, in order from worst to best, it's Zambezi Zinger, Timberwolf, a huge gap, and of course Prowler. But that's not an unpopular opinion. Prowler absolutely rocks. Anyways, what did you think about this video? Like always, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you agree with any of my unpopular opinions. Anyways, until next time, check out some links in the description for merchandise and social media. This is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.